Morning everybody, welcome to my walk and talk. And today we've got little Thea. Hey Thea. So Thea got left behind this morning because Thea was too busy up on the top lawn, not coming when she was called, when Frank came to get her. So she got left. So unfortunately that means she has to walk with Mummy. Doesn't it? So I thought I'd do some little walk and talks, because it's great, isn't it, when you're walking? We all love to talk. Even when we're on our own, we talk. Just to ourselves, it doesn't matter. So I wanted to chat to you today about something I'm really about at the moment, really passionate about. And that is basically rescuing and rehoming dogs from abroad. So a lot of people in the UK often ask me why I help rescue dogs from abroad when there's tons of dogs in the UK that could be rescued. And the answer to that is there is, you're right. And I do help rescue dogs from the UK that I can help. But in the UK we have lots of organisations that countries in Europe don't have, and particularly Greece. They don't have organisations like the RSPCA, they don't have dog wardens, and they don't have the resources, or rather they don't allocate the resources to helping street dogs. So why do I help Greece? Because they're not getting any help from the government. And when I go out to Greece, I like to help the rescues, I like to help the volunteers to grow their knowledge, to treat some of the dogs that come into their care, some with horrific health issues and not really behaviour issues, just fear. So that's why I help dogs from Greece. But it's really infuriating at the moment because, so get your head around this. Greece have stopped any exportation of dogs. So basically for years, Europe has worked with a system called the Traces system, which is basically a veterinary web-based tool that tracks the import and export of live animals and also live food as well. And every European country should have that in order for them to be able to rehome dogs to other countries, street dogs, stray dogs. But Greece have never had that. And here's the reason why. Because they don't have a registered state shelter. They don't. They don't allocate any funds to building one. They don't, for a better word, look after the stray dogs in Greece. So for years, it's been reliant on volunteers, rescues that have been set up by these volunteers that are charities, and none of them get paid, and they don't have their own facilities. So Zanti Strays is the only rescue that, through fundraising and massive fundraising, they've managed to build a shelter. Healing Paws, Sudith, bless her, runs it from her house. So she can sometimes have in excess of 100 dogs in her house and in her garden. And then Zorf, also the third rescue on the island, who help rescue and foster, a lot of them foster stray dogs. So you have 3 rescues that have basically been reliant on volunteers to give up their time, their money, and help stray dogs on the streets. Now in Greece, they don't believe in sterilising their dogs. So what happens every year is you get a... What's the matter? Attention seeker, aren't you? There you go. There you go. You can be on camera now. Get this muck out your eyes. Yes. Let's go. Come on. So every year what you get is an influx of puppies because the stray dogs and the owned dogs aren't sterilised, and then they have tons of litters of puppies which these people, these rescue organisations, go and save and care for. So for years and years, stray dogs in Greece, and it's not just on the island of Zakynthos, it's all the islands, stray dogs in Greece have been cared for by good, willing people, rescue organisations that have been set up, volunteers to help combat the population of stray dogs. Because if you've got lots of stray dogs roaming around a beautiful island that is paradise to some people, and tourists come along and you're trying to sunbathe on your beach, and if you had nobody picking up those dogs and caring for them, sterilising them, and in some cases releasing them back if they're strong street dogs, but in some cases finding homes for them. If you didn't have those people, when you go to your paradise island, you will see the true state of the issue around stray dogs and stray cats on these islands. And it's horrific. It's absolutely horrific. And you would not enjoy your holiday if you saw the number of these stray animals on the streets and the state that some of them are in. And some of them have been owned as well. It's not just, dogs living on the streets and they've got into that state because they've been on the streets. It's horrific. So get your head around this. Why would you not want to make sure that there is a registered state-run shelter in order for you to be able to have the traces system implemented to enable you to find lovely homes, continue to find lovely homes for all these street dogs, or for some of these street dogs? Why would you not want to do that? So this is where I just get crazy, because in my logical mind, if you've got a shelter, so at the moment the only shelter they've got is anti-strays, if you've got that shelter, why would you not register that shelter as the state shelter, which would enable the state vet to be able to issue this traces system, which allows you to move dogs across Europe, i.e. rehome them, find beautiful homes for them? Why would you not logically think, okay, well, the state hasn't got a shelter, but Zante Strays has got a shelter, and we could register that shelter under the state so that we can then issue this traces system, and we can get these dogs that are stuck on the island and stuck in all these rescues, we can get them to their beautiful homes, because it's only February and these dogs are having puppies. And come April, when the shelters are already full now, come April, there is going to be so many dogs on the streets. And tourists are going to start to go out to these islands, and you're going to see tons of dogs on the streets that aren't looking great, because all the people that look after dogs are exhausted because they're trying to look after the 250 that they've got at their house or in their shelter. So, yeah. See, this is what happens. I get chatting and then I lose my dog. Yeah, it's because I'm so passionate about it, right? So, in my mind, you would make that shelter the registered shelter, yeah? Okay, so here's the thing. Here's the next crazy thing. If you look at the criteria that they have to comply to in order to have a state shelter, it would blow your mind. So bearing in mind the lack of funds that they have already out there, in order to have a state shelter, it has to follow lots of criteria. Thea! And that might be things such as a vet clinic, toilets, individual puppy kennels, tons and tons of stuff. If you look down the list of what they would need to have at the shelter in order to comply and be a registered shelter, it's never going to happen. This year anyway, because the expense of it, and they haven't got these things in place. But they're doing the best they can, these organisations, and they've got what they have just from pure fundraising. Thea, come on, let's go. Good girl. Come on, Thea. So cute dogs like Thea, who normally, wouldn't have a chance. Come on, Thea. Good girl. So what we're trying to do is we're trying to send the Mayor of Zakynthos some letters, some emails, basically some information, because they seem to think that these dogs are not going to good homes. These dogs are ending up as sausages on your plate. I mean, this is the UK, people. We don't buy dogs for meat. It's just absolutely crazy, absolutely crazy. So they're happy to neglect their dogs over there and basically ignore them and ignore the fact that they've got tons of street dogs on the streets. They're happy to do that, but they're not happy when volunteers and organisations have worked tirelessly for years to find a way to find these street dogs beautiful, beautiful homes. In a lot of cases, these dogs are far, far happier being in their homes. So they don't consider that. They just think these dogs are being sold for meat. It's just ridiculous. So what we're having to do is basically write letters, we're having to write emails to the Mayor of Zakynthos to share some of these stories and these dogs, come on, that have gone to beautiful homes, and to prove that they're not going to some butchers. Because at the moment the problem is no dogs can leave the island. So all the rescues are full at the moment, and it's only February. Okay? You give that another month and there will be hundreds of dogs on the streets. Hundreds of litters of puppies being born. It will just be crazy. And because we can't move those dogs, and bear in mind, most of those dogs in the rescues or in foster homes over there have already got homes. They're waiting to go to their homes. And these poor people that have adopted these dogs are waiting for their beautiful dogs to come to them. So these dogs have got homes, but we can't transport them across because the Greek government won't sign up to this traces system because they haven't got a state-run, registered shelter on the island of Zakynthos. But yet they've got 3 rescue organisations that are working their socks off to help these poor animals. And it's not just dogs, it's cats as well. So that's what's really got under my skin this morning. Really passionate about it because these countries rely on help from countries in Europe. A lot of these dogs from Greece go to not only the UK, they go to Germany, they go to Holland. And what happens is that if you say that these dogs can't travel to any countries in Europe and have lovely homes anymore, what's going to happen to them? Who's going to deal with that stray problem, Mr. Mayor? Who's going to deal with it? Because you're going to be inundated with hundreds and hundreds of dogs within the next month or two, because all these litters of puppies are being born. And then you're going to have lots of tourists, hopefully, soon. You're going to have lots of tourists coming over and wanting to enjoy their paradise island. And you're going to have really bad situations with stray dogs running around, dog fights, people possibly getting bitten if dogs are injured or frightened. And it's going to make a hell of an impact on your reputation as a paradise island. Oh, Thea Bia. In your own time, girl. It's fine. I've got all day. I can talk about this all day. It's fine. It's not a problem. Here she comes. Thea Bia, come on in. So this is not a dissimilar field to the field I found her in Zakynthos. And it was a thundery, rainy, horrible storm. And she was hunkered down in the long grass. And I just threw my jumper over her and scooped her up. She was a tiny ball of scrumminess. Scrumminess. Come on. Come on, Thea Bia. Come on, Thea Bia. Come on in. Yeah. She's got a hell of a nose on her, as you can see. Thea Bia. And once her nose takes over, her recall goes out the window, so we have to do a little bit of work on that. Here, here, come. Good girl. Oh, there it goes again. Let's go. She can smell something down there. Good girl, Thea Bia. Come on in. Good girl. So my walk and talk topic is about helping these Greek dogs get to their homes. So if you could share your stories of your adopted Greek dog, if you've got one. Thea! And if you haven't, if you could just email or write a letter to the Mayor of Zakynthos and just help us to encourage them to get this traces system implemented, irrespective of whether they've got this posh-nosh shelter that's run by the state. Because let's face it, if you want anything done, it ain't quick in Greece. So if we want a state shelter built, that's not going to happen this year, or next year, or probably the year after. And these dogs are waiting, and these rescues are full. So if you can help email or write a letter to the mayor to help encourage them to implement this traces system. It's a simple system. All the other European countries use it. It's a simple system. But the vet won't issue it to Greece because they don't have a state-run shelter. Duh! You might not have a state-run shelter, but you have hundreds of dogs. Stray dogs, injured dogs, litters of puppies that need help. And, you know, a lot of people on the island help. But there's also some people on the island that they don't want anything to do with the dogs, all the cats. Anything stray, forget it. So this is what I'm passionate about this morning and has made me really... So I'm going to be writing to the mayor and I'm going to be sharing with him how many dogs we have rescued, rehomed, rehabilitated from Greece and are now in beautiful homes that they otherwise would not have been in if it wasn't for the fabulous volunteers and the rescues in Greece. And I'm going to keep writing to him until this traces system is implemented, because that's the only way we can transport the dogs, is by getting this system put in place. And they're going to have to change the rules about this state-registered rescue shelter, because it's not going to happen. Just use the shelters that they've got. Register them. Issue the traces. It's a simple solution, people. Why is it that humans, yet again, are failing animals, yet again? It's humans that are putting these barriers in place, yet again, and preventing these dogs from surviving Oh, humans. Lordy, lordy. So there we go. Crunch that over your breakfast. And we'll see you soon. But I'll put all the links on of the email addresses that you can send your lovely passionate emails and letters to help us help these dogs get to their homes. All right, everybody, take care. Thea says bye too. Bye, Thea. Have a great Friday. Bye bye.